when it gets to the point where he looks like he's half eaten a badger, you know he's just about to go full postal.
In a world desperate to tear itself apart, only one man, and some other people, stand in the way of total destruction. Together they will right the wrongs, make bad, good, and single-handedly destroy evil, together. Who is this man, you may ask? This man is Geoff.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Geoff Jones and Friends Make It Better, the show that takes one of life's little annoyances, gives them a microphone, a guest and a podcast to quite simply make it better. On this episode, I'm delighted to welcome writer, author Gareth Meadows. Hello Gareth, how are you?
I'm very good, thanks, Geoff. Good to be here. The first time I've been referred to as one of life's little annoyances, so thank you very much.
Well, is that how it comes? Because that's the new intro. It was meant to come across as me being the annoyance, but okay, maybe I need to look at how I
like it. I think I'm going to put that on my bio.
Yeah. Gareth, I really appreciate you coming to spend some time with me on the podcast. And please tell me, what is it we are making better today?
Okay, so today I would like to focus on something that is particularly close to my heart, and that is technology in sport.
The big debate. Some sports have been doing it well for ages, others not so much. I've got a feeling I know which way this one's going to go. So please kick us off. What's your biggest annoyances about it?
So the biggest annoyance, as you say, it's been around for a long time. So, I mean, I was raised in the summer watching Wimbledon, and they've had Hawkeye there for years, which has brought the game massively on. And we talk about technology. Are we talking about the equipment that's being used? Are we talking about the computerization of sport? Are we talking about the analysis of sport that makes athletes better? All those are good things that have brought sports on hugely over the past 30 years. But the one that's a big bugbear for me, VAR. Yeah, you have to have the customary sigh at the end of saying VAR. I mean, how it could have been used over the past few years to have made a sport that didn't really need a lot of fixing, to have made it worse in such a dramatic fashion. And everybody talks about teething problems. And yes, with any new technology, there are going to be teething problems, but those teething problems don't get any better. So that's the big annoyance for me, and it's one that I think we can make better by putting the world to rights today.
We definitely can. And just for anyone, because this podcast has global reach, it's really difficult to believe that. But so essentially, VAR is virtual assistant referee.
I think that's the one.
Yeah. For football or soccer, if you're from those parts that get it wrong, it's basically been brought in to have second looks, third looks, 20 looks, add another 6 minutes onto a game to basically see if the minutest decision is right or wrong. And yeah, you're right, Gareth. It's not the technology; it's the people using it.
Yes, yeah.
But I mean,
it's how it's used.
Yeah. First, I mean, Hawkeye, I remember Hawkeye coming into Wimbledon. That's kind of how old I am. My mind was blown when I first saw that. It's like, wow, they can see, and you get the little shadow on the court. And so I was quite excited when VAR was coming in, and they're saying it's going to take some of the control away from the referee getting the right decisions. Because football is a big money game, isn't it? We've seen clubs go down and get relegated because of a bad decision. I think Neil Warnock still talks about it to this day for Sheffield United. I think maybe. When did it all start going wrong with VAR? Because you must have had a bit of anticipation about it. Yeah, a bit of excitement when it was first announced. Well, you're a football purist, are you?
I am a bit of a purist. I mean, I will be honest, when there were first conversations being had in the press and the media, and speaking to some of my friends who work in the media around VAR coming into play and technology being introduced into football, I was dead against it. And I'll be honest, as good and bad as referees can be, They are vital to the game. To every
Yeah.
sport, you need an officiator. You need somebody who is going to be there to make sure the rules are followed. And they're human, and humans are fallible, and they get things wrong, just as the sports people get things wrong, just like the coaches get things wrong, just like every one of us who's in the stands watching. We are objectively flawed. We get things wrong because we focus on what we see and what our observational bias is, and we make a decision based on that.
Yeah. Who, very quick. Who's your team?
Tranmere Rovers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Although my children are all Liverpool fans because I refused point blank to inflict Tranmere Rovers upon them. So yeah, I'm kind of a soft spot for Liverpool as well.
I was going to say Tranmere is everyone from Liverpool's second team, right? or first if they were grown up as Everton fans. Anyway, let's not start any trouble. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
So when these conversations were first being had, which is probably 5-6 years ago, around possibly the use of technology coming into sport, I was a little bit nervous. And my rationale behind that is, yes, referees were making a lot of wrong decisions, and it gets a lot of focus at the very top level of the game, where there are billions of pounds in the game in terms of player transfers, in terms of player salaries, in terms of the value of football clubs. And the fact that it is a global game where the Premier League is being broadcast all over the world. But I really like the fact that referees get things wrong. That was one of the main things I really love about the game, is sitting in the pub or in work with a friend and saying how terrible a referee's been. You're talking about the decisions that they've made and how poor they are. And that became the fuel for you, regardless of the result, regardless of how it inflicted upon your club or the game that you were watching. You could kind of bond over a really partisan sport where, Man United fan is never going to agree with a Liverpool fan over their teams, but they will agree on how terrible a referee is. Yeah. And that brings people together. And all that we've seen happen with the introduction of the technology is that we're getting things wrong, but slower.
Yeah, and people are just moaning. Well, they're collectively moaning about VAR.
Yeah.
Rather than the excitement of, because that is. I mean, I've got a friend of mine who is a Chelsea fan, and still to this day brings up the ghost goal from the Champions League semi-final, and to this day, it's that goal didn't stand. Yeah, they've tried looking at it with modern day technology and they still can't figure it out. And it's still this thing, like decades later, that we're still chatting about, because the technology wasn't there.
Was it in that same game that Stefan Oncho handled one on the line to keep it from being equalised, or was it the next leg?
Don't know what you're talking about. Never happened.
That kind of thing's brilliant. I mean, I know Ireland fans will disagree with me when Thierry Henry handled the ball to put it down to his feet, to slot it into the back of the net to knock Ireland out of the World Cup.
Yeah, they would not.
They will disagree and say it was a terrible thing, but it was damn entertaining.
Yeah,
there's no denying that. Unless you're Irish.
Well, that's it. You got and it does. You got to. I mean, you got to have villains. And I am. I don't know. So I like VAR in principle because I do like. I know a right decision and a wrong decision, whether it goes for or against. It's. I know. Maybe I'm boring. Maybe I'm a stickler with that. If it stays with offsides and generally, offsides, handballs, leading up to goals, I think is probably a bit too much, because if it's not blatant. But my big sticker about it is it for a foul, for example, for red card, is it clear and obvious? Well, or is the handball clear and obvious? Well, obviously not, because it takes you 3 minutes to decide whether it's clear and obvious. It should be any decision made. If a decision can't be made within 60 seconds, then just whatever the on-field play is, get on with it. And most of the time, whilst the team's celebrating or moaning, they could be looking at that and have it done it needs to be smoother. However, I have seen fans at stadiums embracing that time, because it used to be you couldn't celebrate. If you score a goal, you can't celebrate because you just have to wait to see if 20 minutes ago someone, I don't know, farted in the wrong direction and it's going to get called, it's going to be ruled out for it. Whereas now it has got a little bit quicker, but it's the anticipation and the celebrations are even more so because it's that, I know, that kind of panic in that weight of seeing. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a little bit, or you're just.
I get where you're coming from. Now, I will preface this by saying that subsequently, I have come to the opinion that goal line technology is a wonderful thing.
Yeah. It's your Hawkeye. It's your Hawkeye.
Yeah. The problem is it only gets rolled out to your elite teams. So your elite teams have Hawkeye technology on the goal line. A handful of championship teams have got it as well.
Yeah.
But I think that's a brilliant thing, and it should be in every competition because that is a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
There should be no doubt, has the ball crossed the line or not.
Yes.
And the technology is wonderful.
That should be simple, shouldn't it?
I have changed my mind about Hawkeye technology and believe that, yes, within football, has the ball crossed the line? Is it a goal or isn't it a goal? It's great. Let's have that, more of that. But with VAR, my biggest issue is the point you were making there. It's taken the passion out of scoring a goal. Now, scoring a goal it's the most visceral, emotional thing, and I don't know at what level you might have played football, but whatever it is, when you score, it's just you get that rush.
Yeah.
You don't get that rush 60 seconds after you've scored the goal, or 3 minutes after you've scored that goal. You get that rush there and then. I mean, I can remember a young lad called Chris Dagnall who made his debut for Tranmere Rovers probably about 2014, and he'd come through the academy, a lot of expectation around this kid, and he came onto the pitch, and he came on about the 70th minute, and we were a goal down, and the first thing he did was he got himself booked. He ran onto the pitch, he went hurtling into somebody, bang, straight away yellow card, because he's just too keyed up.
Yeah.
He's got himself too wound.
Love it.
And then within a few minutes, he scored a goal. He scored the equaliser. Brilliant. On your debut, as a kid who was about 17, 18 at the time, he scored on his debut at home in front of the home fans.
Boyhood club.
Yep. And the 93rd minute, he scored the winning goal. Now, his reaction there, and I think this is a flaw in the rules as well, but his reaction there was to whip his shirt off and wave it over his head.
So he got sent off.
Around the back of the goal, and he got sent off.
Sorry, I stole the thunder from that one, but that's brilliant.
What a debut. What a debut. I mean, that's brilliant. That's up there with Jonathan Woodgate's debut for Real Madrid.
Did he get stretched off in that one? Or was that a red card?
No, he got a red card.
He scored
an own goal and got a red card. Yeah. It goes down as one of the worst debuts ever in the history of the game. Unfortunately, the guy can laugh about it now. But, whilst I was there at that game watching this kid, and I thought, oh, come on, referee, just have a bit of heart for the kid. Don't take out the card. Just take it on the chin and just tell him, put your top back on. And he sent him off. And that was all in the moment. That was all in that absolutely wonderful moment. But I guarantee to you now, if you take Chris Dagnall aside and say, would you change that moment? Would you have liked the game to have stopped so you could compose yourself for 2-3 minutes while somebody decides whether they're going to rule the goal out? Because that's what VAR is used for. It's being used in the wrong way. It's being used to decide, has something happened in any goal that means that goal doesn't stand? And that is just... it's the death of football. It's just wrong. They shouldn't happen. It's entertainment when all's said and done. And when you start to strip out the entertainment aspect, it's just wrong. It shouldn't be that way. Yeah.
See, this is actually where you do get me, because I do like, there's right, there's wrong. Like I say, we've got on technology. It is on, it is off. If someone breaks a rule, then it should be, I don't know, whether it's a card, whether it's penalised, whether it's to stop the goal. But at the end of the day, it is entertainment. And as they changed, as a couple, was it the offside rule they changed for the 30,000th time? because it was becoming more and more difficult for a striker to score a goal, and that's essentially what the game's about. It's about scoring goals, and all the time, obviously, goalkeepers get protected. That's fine because they put themselves in harm's way. But a striker, it's got to be about scoring goals, and as soon as you start reducing the amount of goals that can be scored or start taking away goals, that's when it does start impacting the fun. Do struggle. I mean, we look at the World Cup, and the time was added on for everything, and I think that made it better.
Ended up playing like 110 minutes for every game.
Yeah, which is great for a supporter playing for that. The ball's in play, or they saw the ball in play longer than any other time.
So I hate to say this because I don't like to give much to my American cousins, but I was over there in the USA just a few weeks ago, in fact, and our friends took us to watch Orlando City play. And it was an interesting game. I mean, the stadiums are amazing. The fan base is fantastic. It's a lot of fun. Really heavily Americanized. I mean, it sounds like Duffman is doing the announcement in the stadium. It's great. But
they can whip up a crowd.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it was, the standard was pretty good as well. I've got to say, I was pretty impressed. But the one thing I do have to say that they've got right over us is when the ball goes out, they stop the clock.
Yeah.
Ball goes dead, they stop the clock.
Yeah.
That's just the right thing to do, instead of somebody arbitrarily saying, okay, we made a substitution, let's add on another 30 seconds. It's like, just stop the clock.
Where did it come from? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
stop the clock. Play the actual time.
Play 90 minutes of football. And you get that. Absolutely. Whether it takes, and also it take, teams will do things quicker because, especially if they're winning, or they'll be more aware of the time then, rather than wasting time. But then, you get into sportsmanship. So things like wasting time or time wasting in football, that's part of the entertainment, isn't it? That's what creates villains as things. And
absolutely,
is I suppose
Liverpool in their heyday, their game plan when they were a goal up with 15, 20 minutes left was to knock the ball around, not surrender any possession, then roll it back to Bruce Grobbelaar, who would fall on top of the ball, pick it up, and then would eventually stand up and would drop it at his feet and would run out of the goal and would play it to the fullback, and then they'd do it all over again. It'd be all over the pitch, then back to him. They changed the laws of the game because of Bruce Grobbelaar.
So they can't pick it up.
Yeah. But Liverpool won how many championships based on that game plan? That's genius. As you say, it's part of the game. If you're just trying to see out time. And that's part of football. That's the way it should be.
It's not entertaining though, is it?
Yeah, I agree. It's not entertaining unless you're a Liverpool fan.
See what I'm doing.
I get exactly where you're going.
And then we get into diving. Then we get into diving and things, which is part of gameplay. And you've got your pantomime villains and things, but it's all part of it's all part of the game, and it's all things that people don't like. That happens, and to try and make it into the whole VAR bit, and it's not going anywhere. But
we love the pantomime villains. There's a bit of the character has gone out of the game. We need to see some more Ibrahimoviches and Mario Balotellis and God help me, Jose Mourinho's and Sir Alex Ferguson's,
Keanes and Vieiras and
I mean, you can tell how mentally unstable Roy Keane is based on his beard. When it gets to the point where he looks like he's half eaten a badger, he's just about to go full postal.
You can just see it growing as he gets as he's talking, just live speed.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the same thing with Mourinho. I mean, he starts at any new club, and he's there, and he's wearing a suit and a tie, and he looks really pristine with his hair cut nice and short and crisp, and he's a handsome guy,
Yeah.
and he talks very eloquently. And by year 3, he's there in a tracksuit with food stains down the front, eating a hot dog. His hair's grown out. He's got the 3-day stubble, and he's done there.
Didn't he go bald at Spurs?
Yeah,
At Spurs was enough just to make him lose his hair. Oh, we can all laugh at Tottenham. Well, okay, so obviously we centre around VAR because there are sports that do it right. However, I'm probably going to get some hatred of this because you've got tennis and you've got cricket. Both do it incredibly well.
Yep.
Probably two of the most boring sports that's ever. I don't class darts as a sport, so don't come up with that one. But
yeah,
they are. Well, actually, you can't say that tennis is slower paced, can you? But it has. I don't know. It is slower as a spectacle, I suppose. But
you have more breaks in between games and rallies and stuff like that. Which,
yeah,
considering in tournaments they're playing back-to-back games over the course of days, you get why that's the case, why it needs to be that way. So the VAR does lend itself especially to games like cricket and tennis. I completely agree.
Yeah, and cricket. I mean, how you can play for 5 days and still draw it doesn't compute with me. I have no idea.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun to play. I can't watch it.
Yeah, and the terminology in it just goes mad. But yeah, with their Wookiees and Hicks, and I'm not even going to pretend to googlies. Yeah, the cricket dictionary is the most fun part of the sport. But what they have got right is the technology. They can track the flight of a ball based on all all the parameters that and the information they're given, and can decide accurately whether it was going to be out or LBW, etc., etc., etc. So, and that's quite technical. Being able to see a spin on a ball and from when it bounces to the direction to see how it's going to land.
I think there's less going on for the umpire to keep an eye on, though, and they have multiple officials. So I think, as I say, that the sport lends itself to having that technology. It's pretty much only tracking the path of the ball at all times, whereas in soccer, you are tracking not just the 22 players on the pitch. You're tracking the movement of the assistant referees. So I'll use the correct terminology. The referee. Then you've got all of the substitutes on the sidelines. You've got the officials. You've got the crowd involved who are pretty damn close to the pitch, and I think that is a hell of a lot for the referee to keep track of. So I can understand the desire to try and lend a hand. So that's why they brought in the fourth official name, and that's exactly what I want to see. But just coming back to VAR, one of the biggest issues I have over it is the whole offside nonsense. What is offside? What isn't offside? Which part of the arm constitutes being onside or offside? Whether it's the sleeve, whether it's this top part of the arm, the bottom part of the arm, there's a fundamental issue for me with the technology that's being employed, at least in the Premier League. I'm assuming you've been to a lot of live games. Yeah. You've seen a football pitch. Have you ever seen a flat football pitch? Because they're not flat.
There's no. I've been. No, not most of them are on a slant. They're
on a slant.
Oval.
Every football pitch is convex by design. They're supposed to be convex, otherwise the water doesn't run off.
Yeah.
So they should be slightly convex. So if you draw a straight line across a convex pitch, you're not getting a clear view over whether that's a straight line or not, because the pitch isn't straight. So how can you judge when people who are standing 20, 30 feet apart are equidistant or not? It makes no sense to me whatsoever. For me, I would far rather they got it wrong. Go with the gut. Allow the assistant referee or linesman, as they used to be called, allow them to make the decision in real time. That's what they're there for. They've got one job. They have one job. That is to look along the line and decide whether somebody's offside. I would rather they got it wrong than go to a committee who still gets it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it, it is literally with offside. If VAR is there and it is still being used, then if the assistant referee didn't call an offside or did call an offside, if it is an incorrect decision, it can be made quickly. Is it clear and obvious? Well, no, because they're spending 20 minutes looking at the finest little lines. That's not.
Yeah.
If you're looking at millimeters, that's not a clear and obvious, because the naked eye isn't going to be able to know that.
Give them 30 seconds.
So
Give them 30 seconds. If they can't do it in 30 seconds, then what's the point?
Yeah, if you can't do it just by zooming in.
Yeah.
Oh, very quickly, the reason why cricket needs kind of Hawkeye, whatever it is they've got, and for it to work so well, is because all the umpires are old as hell and can't see anything anyway. So, oh my goodness, that's what we need. Instead of VAR, we just need old referees. Just that are going to get it wrong anyway.
Just all over the pitch, just surrounding the pitch. Yeah,
just all looking for their glasses on the floor.
David Ellery, just like clone David Ellery, just having surrounding the pitch.
Oh, can you imagine? Just 200 David Ellerys just all looking on. all with their own flags. Right. So the easy answer. Okay, there's two easy answers to making. I say technology. We have focused on VAR, but to making the two easy answers to making the situation better. Obviously, you're a football purist, is to scrap it. Another option is to just make the parameters quicker and shore it all up and make it smoother, which if all these people are being paid vast amounts of money haven't come up with that already, then there's obviously some other reason.
I do have a radical view on this, and again, I'll tip my hat to our American friends and cousins. I think they've got it right in the NFL. So it's used, but it's used sparingly, and it's used at the behest of the coaches. So I think they could improve things, because it's not going to go away. The investment's been made, and it's going to be too shamefaced to withdraw VAR. And as I say, goal line technology is proven. Keep it. It's great. But for VAR, how about if each manager had one call that they could make, where they would say, you could make it one call per half, I suppose, but one call where you could say, I want to challenge that decision, that on-field decision. And then you get 90 seconds where the VAR officials take over and they review the decision. And if you have been proven right as a manager and that call is reversed, then you retain your call. You get another opportunity to make your call. But if it's...
Okay, I get you. But it makes it a tactic then, doesn't it?
Well, it can be a tactic, but if you stop the clock at that point, then that time's just going to be
not for time wasting, but actually you kind of start delving into the science of, and it would be I could think especially if you're limited to how many you can have, because it would be using it early in the game for a decision that for a run of play where you might not get that opportunity again. Or obviously at the end, if you're losing or then you need it. So I like that. I mean, a tool where they can contest the decision and this one's right, so you get it back again. We made the error, or no, you've lost it. I do. I think you've got it right. Or certainly the best of the options that are out there. Let's face it, it's not going to be long before there's just the whole roofs are made of drones, and every player's got their own individual drone following them around, and it's every going to look like FIFA. And I don't know,
or a body cam. They're all wearing body cams and they're all mic'd up. It's like watching Channel 5.
Like watching Cops. Although that's when you needed that on the Keanes and the Vieiras Because imagine,
Yeah.
imagine early Premier League days if they were wearing
Yeah,
body
yeah.
cams and microphones.
Oh,
That
yeah. I remember years ago. So back, God, it must have been about 2005, 2006. Um, I was a supplier manager for my company, and one of our suppliers used to have a box at Old Trafford, and I'd get invited along fairly regularly to go and watch these games, and I really didn't want to go, but it was one of those things that was told, yeah, you've got to schmooze a little bit, you've got to go along, show willing.
yeah.
So go and watch the games, and to be fair, they were very hospitable, and it was a little bit soulless at Old Trafford because you're not out in the stadium, you're behind glass in a corporate box. You have a meal, serves you like 3-course meal and everything. But you know, a couple of these games, I'm watching Wayne Rooney, and I'm thinking, if he would have been mic'd up during his games playing days, that would have been brilliant. In this one particular game, and it was the game where he scored an absolute worldie, I think, against Newcastle. There's like a volley into the top corner.
Yeah.
But for about 5 minutes of that game, it's like they got the TV behind us in the corner, so we're just watching, and the camera's just focused on Rooney, just shouting over at the referee, who I think was Graham Poll on the day, and he's just going, ref, 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 until he gets his attention. Graham Poll turns around, and he goes, yeah. I'm thinking I'll have every player mic'd up and camered up just for that.
We had almost a bit of that, didn't we, during COVID times when the games were being played behind closed doors. And it took a longer than it probably should have done for the broadcasters to realise that when there's no fans in a stadium, you can hear everything that's going on. And so they obviously started kind of piping through noise and things just so you couldn't hear the players just go shouting.
It gave me PTSD, mate. I played semi-pro football when I was younger, and it gave me PTSD of playing in front of crowds of like 200-300, typically men in their 70s. So it's like not a fan, not a sustainable fan base. But when you're playing in front of a crowd like that and you make a cock up and you can hear every smart arse remark, it's soul destroying when you've got a 70-year-old telling you that you're at football.
He's given up his Saturday umpiring cricket to come to come and watch your nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's telling you my nan could do better, and thinking, shit, she's still alive.
Oh man. Goodness me. Yeah, that's fantastic. I love that idea. I mean, so essentially, not only we're making technology, but it is technology in sport, and actually we focus on VAR. But said that, what we've made better is the whole game of football by using more technology of miking them up, the players, by miking up, giving them cameras, then everyone be able to hear just exactly what's going on. There'll probably be a lot of heavy breathing going on as well, so it might be a little bit off-putting for times when there's not lots of swearing and not lots of over here, forward, pass it.
Referee. I mean, just going back to those COVID games, just remember how hilarious it made diving, because you could quite clearly see when somebody hadn't been touched and they'd scream out loud and then roll around. It was just brilliant. So if we had the camera on them all the time, we can see whether they've been hit and they're rolling around.
Do you know, my wife still hasn't forgiven Cristiano Ronaldo for the Euro. Was it 2008 when he got Rooney sent off and the wink? Was that 2008? Was it? No, 2004. I think it's 2004. And Cristiano Ronaldo got Rooney sent off and he winked. And that was it. That was when he was off the wife's Christmas card list. To this day, I tell her, well, he's funded hospitals and orphanages, all this great. Don't care. He winked. That's it. And not even Rooney, because she's not even a Rooney fan. It's just the audacity that he dived, rolled around for a bit, got Rooney sent off, and then winked.
Was it one of the newspapers carried the headline, "What a massive winker"?
Yeah, that's it. Also, I tell you what, whilst we're on, So give them, right, get rid of kits. Well, no, have colours, right? But a full bodysuit, like a wetsuit, but it's got pressure points on, right? And and so if they get fouled, if it's judged that they simulated and they dived or it wasn't a foul, then someone smashes a button and they just get a massive pain in their leg, like they would have been kicked.
Like an electric shock. Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to fake it. Here you go. Have it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's do that. Yeah, somebody in the crowd with a paintball gun.
Just
then you know pain.
Was it? There used to be an old advert, probably for a lager, and it was just before America was kind of, I suppose, as into football, soccer as it is now, because actually they've got, firsthand, amazing academies over there and scholarship programs, lots of investment going in there, and David Beckham, now they've adopted him. I'm really worried they're going to give us James Corden back by keeping Beckham, but
they already traded back Piers Morgan.
He's it's weird to say it's the worst thing about Arsenal, but he's but they had this advert and it was like, now it's time for multi-ball, and like 1, 2 all these footballs just get launched onto the pitch and it's like quickly, just got to score, stuff like that. I'm all for just randomly, just at some point, or I don't know, like a kid just runs on the pitch and everyone's just got to avoid the kid, and if you hit the kid with the ball or you as a person, then like I don't know, you're sent off or you're sin binned or something like that. Just the game needs a bit more excitement. VAR is not going to do it. That's slowing it all down. So we need electricity.
Let's really hark back to the 1980s and have a greased up streaker run across the pitch, and they have to catch them, but they're greased up. They're all covered in lard.
Slippery, and if the streaker gets to the football before they get to the streaker,
if you catch them, it's like Quidditch. The game's over. You get 100 points.
You get 100 points. The golden snitch. Oh dear. See, there you go. There's loads of ideas of ways to make it.
And all of this is more innovative than FIFA every World Cup making a slightly rounder football.
Yeah. Get multi-ball going. Get electric shocks going. And invest in the rounder balls, and get on with it. But right, Gareth, we've gone well into extra time. Do you see what I did there? Little football pun there. So as far as VAR is concerned, made better, I think, by making it a tool that can be used. The sport as a whole, for technology, we've made better by bodysuits, cameras, microphones. Turn it not only into a sport, but like a reality TV series where we're hearing the entertainment. Let's do it. Just hear you. Let's face it. There's nothing. Oh, that's it. And you know how Sky Sports, or I know various channels, you can pick which camera you're looking through and all this stuff. You can pick which player that you're listening to, right? Because let's face it, everyone's going to want to listen to, I don't know, Trent Alexander-Arnold, a Scouse kid. Just everyone wants to hear just 90 minutes of a Scouser talking. That'd be great. Or Harry Kane, just that. I'm your son. I think it would be. Its own little kind of soap opera. You know what? I'm putting a rubber stamp on that, Gav. Everything has been made better. That's it. We need to do this more often than just me and you moaning about football. And also, actually, do you know what? I've been pushing this idea around of have guests on to talk about the most random Olympic sports, because there's some great ones. Curling is maybe the most mental thing in the world, but I'll watch it. I won't watch cricket. I won't watch tennis. I won't watch darts or horse riding. yeah, all of these sort of baseball. I won't watch. I watch basketball. I won't watch. Yeah, loads of sports, but curling, I will watch for days, and I will be an expert, and I will tell them exactly what's wrong.
Do you know what I'd love to do is like fake expert commentary over some of these obscure sports.
Yes, definitely. Hey, well, maybe that's an idea. Let's have your people call my people, and we'll do lunch. Yeah, 100%. Right, Gareth. Look, I'm going to get rid of you, okay? Because I've had enough of your Tranmere loving self. But before I give you the red card, Gareth, see, I'm getting good at this.
Well done.
I'm going to start a podcast. What is it you're working on? Where can we find you? What's going on in the world of Gareth Meadows?
So I am something of an aspiring writer, author, screenwriter. I've published one book so far, which can be found at all good booksellers, as long as you really stretch the definition of the word good, and you're only talking about a bookseller that is named after a South American rainforest and has a rather dubious tax reputation. But it's called Born of Inward Dreamings. So for anybody out there that is interested in a short set of tales which are based loosely on northern central European folk tales, very sort of grim orientated, gothic orientated tales, give it a look. It was entertaining to write. I enjoyed it, and from the readers who've partaken so far, I've had a lot of good feedback, so please feel free and let me know if you do enjoy it or not. Other than that, I've written a trilogy which is based on Celtic mythology. It's a lot of fun. I am in the process of rewriting that and pitching it to agents and publishers at the moment. Had a bit of interest, but nothing concrete as yet. But over the past 6 months or so, I've been focusing a lot on my screenplays. So I think I've written 6 screenplay pilots and just completed writing my first ever feature film. So,
wow,
yeah, it's getting some good feedback. Yeah. So, a lot of irons in the fire on top of the day job.
Cool, you need a hobby.
I put this stuff on the back burner for 20 years, so I've had all this stuff mulling away. So any spare moment I get, I'm focusing on my writing.
Do you know what? I'm a massive advocate of that. What you're saying of, you do something for you, and it sounds like it's going fantastic. Yeah. We'll put so what's the book called?
Born of Inward Dreamings.
Born of Inward Dreamings. We'll put the link in the bio for this, so you'll be able to find the link for the South American rainforest. And I think all there is now is to thank everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. You'll hear us on Sky Sports News soon. I'm sure get picked up. And it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Gareth. Say goodbye, Gareth.
Thank you very much, and been great being here. It's been unbelievable, Geoff.
I sound like you're doing there. Although none of those words were goodbye. So follow instructions, Gareth.
Goodbye.
Until next time, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Geoff Jones and Friends. Make it better.